You ever see a grown woman in a neon fuchsia suit screaming bloody murder at 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday, claiming you're a criminal on your own driveway while the morning mist still rising off the lake? Yeah, that happened. That's Cordelia Whitmore, president of the Lakefront Estates HOA, out there shrieking into her phone, heels clicking on my pavement like she owns the air I'm breathing. Birds go silent. Neighbors' curtains twitch. Even the moving truck guys are eyeing her like maybe they parked on the wrong planet. I should have been freaked out, right? But the real kicker, she's calling the cops on me, Sterling Mathis, and she doesn't know she's picked a fight with a forensic accountant who spent the last 6 weeks quietly tracking her shell company purchases ever since I found Uncle Garrison's files tucked away in a basement safe right under my nose. Let me back up a sec. 3 months earlier, I was just another guy licking his wounds after a rough divorce, emotionally wiped out. Pockets empty. No plan except to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Then Uncle Garrison passes at 89, leaves me his lake house, and suddenly I'm staring at a second chance nobody saw coming. The house is classic, built in 47, 2 acres of old pine and water, lapping at a private dock, the kind of place where the air smells like fresh coffee and hope. The will doesn't mention the note he left me in his tackle box. Sterling Cordelia's been buying up foreclosures with dummy corpse. Evidence in basement safe. Combos your birthday backwards. I almost laughed, thought it was just another old man's ramble. Turns out it was the first breadcrumb in what become a full-blown federal fraud case. The first week at Lake Serene, I did what you'd expect, soaked up the piece, tried to forget lawyers and lost time. Sunrises on the dock, steam curling from the old percolator, watching mist drift like ghosts over the water. But all good things, you know how it goes, 7 days, and then that silver Range Rover roars up my driveway. Cordelia climbs out, blonde, mid-50s makeup, perfect clipboard in hand, and murder in her eyes. "We need to discuss your property violations immediately," she snaps, barely letting me introduce myself. Apparently, I'm already guilty. $43,000 in unpaid assessments, illegal repairs, non-compliance with community aesthetic standards, all going back 18 months. I ask for documentation. She just laughs. I have absolute authority here. That word authority, she wears it like armor. But I've played enough poker to see a bluff. I point out that according to the old boundary survey, this house predates the HOA by 15 years. She stumbles just for a split second, and I know I've hit a nerve. "You'll be hearing from our attorney, and my husband Bartholomew has serious connections at the courthouse. You'll be evicted by Friday." She peels out tires, squealing Range Rover glinting in the sunlight like she's fleeing a heist gone wrong. That night I can't let it go. Head down to the basement, smells like lake water and machine oil tackle boxes everywhere. Combos easy, 1985 backward. Inside the safe, a thick folder of documents, bank statements, forged deeds, incorporation papers for Lakefront Development LLC with Cordelia front and center. 17 foreclosed homes, all snapped up at pennies on the dollar. Elderly owners, most over 75, pressured with fake liens and emergency fees until they gave in or lost everything. Uncle Garrison's notes fill the margins, dates, names, warnings like resistant to pressure, alternative methods needed. It's a map of systematic, heartless fraud. I spent days cross-referencing records, every forged signature, every sudden foreclosure, every sale to Cordelia's LLC, but I needed backup. That's when I called Janet Rodriguez, an old FBI contact from a municipal corruption case up in Michigan. "Janet, I've got a live one. Multi-million-dollar property theft, 17 confirmed victims, all forced out by fake liens. You want in, she did. We start building a case methodical as surgery." Meanwhile, Cordelia doubles down. Tuesday morning, moving truck rolls up with my furniture from storage, and here she comes screeching into the driveway, phone to her ear, screaming for police like I'm robbing Fort Knox. Pete the mover just shakes his head. "Boss, you want me to keep unloading?" "Absolutely," I say, flipping my phone to record. Cordelia's spinning in circles, yelling about illegal occupancy. What she doesn't know, Sheriff Davidson already briefed. He knows I'm legit, and he knows there's a federal case in the works. 10 minutes later, Deputy Morrison shows up. He's young but steady, checks my documents, listens to Cordelia rant. Mr. Mathis, you have clear legal title. Ma'am, unless you have specific business here, you need to leave. She tries one last time. I have absolute authority. But Morrison just shrugs. HOA rules don't override state law, ma'am. Pete finishes unloading, whistling like it's just another Tuesday. Never seen an HOA president lose it like that, he says. Good luck. Luck's got nothing to do with it. The next day, Cordelia sends in a survey crew, 3 trucks, hard hats, orange spray paint. They start measuring my dock, snapping photos, acting like they own the place. I ask for their permit, none. Mrs. Whitmore said it was fine. I tell them to pack up and get off my property record every second, and by lunch, they're gone. But Cordelia isn't done. Thursday, I wake up to a fake condemnation notice taped to my door. County seal warnings of structural hazards, demands to evacuate immediately. Problem is, I know the real paperwork, and this is a joke, wrong font, bad signature, bogus reference numbers. I call the county, no such order, not even close. Instead of tipping my hand, I wait, let Cordelia keep digging her hole. Friday's the big show, emergency HOA meeting, mandatory attendance, $500 fine if you skip. The community center's packed. Cordelia, in that same fuchsia suit, fires up a PowerPoint called Protecting Our Community from Legal Terrorism. Claims I forged my inheritance documents, threatened survey crews, basically painted myself as some diabolical outsider. Then she announces, wait for it, a $15,000 emergency assessment from every household to pay her legal bills. You could feel the shock hit the room like a thunderclap. Mrs. Patterson, sweet woman in the 3rd row, pipes up. Cordelia, can we see the financials for this? Cordelia snaps. This isn't a democracy. But Harold the treasurer finally finds his backbone. Emergency assessments over $5,000 require a vote, Cordelia. It's in the bylaws. The bylaws are whatever I say they are, she hisses. The crowd's about to riot. And then here's your twist. Her own granddaughter, little Madison, stands up and says, Grandma, why do you have all those papers with different people's names? You showed me how you changed the names like in my coloring book. Silence. Cordelia tries to play it off, but Madison's not done. Yesterday you showed me how to make it look like Uncle Garrison signed. The whole room gasps. I stand up, phone recording, and ask Madison, did Grandma show you how to copy names? Yes, she's really good at it, the kid beams. Out of the mouths of babes, right? That's when I drop the bomb. Cordelia's been using Lakefront Development LLC to buy foreclosed properties, homes she forced into foreclosure with fake liens, targeting the elderly, bleeding them dry, and buying up their houses cheap. The FBI's been investigating. Arrests are coming. People finally see her for what she is. Even Harold shaking Mrs. Patterson's, clutching her purse like a life vest, and Cordelia starts threatening everybody. I'll tell the IRS about your consulting fees. Harold, Mrs. Patterson, do you want everyone knowing about your son's gambling in Atlantic City? Her mask shatters right there. That's when my phone buzzes. Janet Warrant signed. Moving in 2 hours. Is she at the meeting? I text back, yeah, she's melting down. 47 minutes to the sheriff's auction. Cordelia's house is up for grabs, and she doesn't even know. I show up at the courthouse, autumn leaves crunching underfoot, nerves like live wires. Investors everywhere. Locals murmuring, tension thick as fog. Auctioneer rattles off properties, then comes 1247 Lakefront Drive. Cordelia screeches up in her Range Rover suit, wrinkled hair wild, and tries to stop the sale, claims it's a conspiracy. Auctioneer shrugs. Ma'am, your company's been in foreclosure for 8 months. Bidding jumps $400,000, $500,000 up and up. I jump in at $800,000, go toe-to-toe with a suit, and win at a cool $1,400,000 less than market value. Cordelia loses it. You can't steal my house. I just say, it's foreclosure. The FBI froze your accounts weeks ago. Maybe try playing by the rules for once. Auctioneer drops the gavel. Cue the black SUVs, FBI agents everywhere. Janet Rodriguez walks right up Cordelia Whitmore. You're under arrest for fraud, racketeering, elder abuse. She's cuffed, reading her rights. Whole crowd watching. You ever see a fuchsia suit crumple? That's the moment. Trial's fast, jury's out 4 hours. Guilty on every count. Cordelia gets 15 years, millions in restitution, everything seized. The new HOA is rebuilt from the ground up, transparent, democratic, every meeting streamed, every dime accounted for. Cordelia's old mansion. I donate it to the Garrison Foundation for property rights, helping others fight back against HOA abuse. And the best part, my uncle's old tackle box sparked a wave of reforms across 12 states. Hundreds of families saved new federal laws protecting homeowners. Even little Madison wrote me years later, I want to help people instead of hurting them. So if you're ever staring down a bully in a pink suit who thinks the rules don't apply, remember sometimes the quiet old-timers are the real heroes. And sometimes justice really does show up even if it takes a little time and a lot of nerve. Now tell me in the comments, have you ever tangled with an HOA president who thought they were untouchable? Where's the line between community and control, and what does justice look like? Where you live, smash that like button. If you believe home should mean safety, not fear, and if you want more wild stories about fighting back, hit subscribe and let's keep shining a light on the dark side of the American dream.